For a time, we tried to contact him by radio, but no response.
Yes, y'all. Welcome in, everybody, to episode 49 of the Dumb Marks Podcast, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch. Gentlemen, how we doing? How we living? How's everybody feeling? Everybody woke up today, took a breath, so it must be a good day, right?
Yeah. So it's going to be a hot Saturday in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Like I said before on my social media, whoever wants to buy a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, please see me.
Don't
some arrangements.
Do not need to be canceled off of that. That is not the way we want to start.
Make some arrangements.
We're going to drop that out. When we put up the audio edition of this pod.
So what happened with the niece and nephew this week?
I just came into the house yesterday from work and they were screaming. One was sleeping. The other one was screaming. The one wanted to go out. The other one woke up. And then they wanted to see each other, crying and this stuff. I was like, I had enough. So
normally when you sleep, you wake up. Jason knows all about that.
Sleep, wake up, and screaming, and
what's going on?
I do. I scream every morning.
Yeah. So when their parents came up, they picked them up. I was like, if they weren't blood related, they would be on the Pat bus going home by themselves. I'm done. But everything else, I'm cool.
Nice. Chris J, how we living? We good?
Yeah.
Hey, things are good.
So throughout the week, doing research on stuff, I came up with the first Dumb Marks get rich quick scheme. All right, and this will apply to the four of us, but for the most part, this is going to be a me, Jason, and Chris thing. Donald, you're kind of on the fringe here, but
it's got to do with food.
Well, no, not so much.
Okay.
But so Destination XL is holding the big model search.
I did see that. Okay,
big and tall. Me and Chris got the big aspect handled there. Jay, you got the tall aspect handled there. I figure we could enter our hats into the running. We could become Destination XL models. You know what I mean? They're giving chubby kids a chance. Get out there.
I got the big and tall going down, so I mean,
that's
exactly what they want.
You got both covered. They got the tall. I'm short and wide. I used to say I'm built like a Grand Prix wide track from back in the day. Shout out.
My shirt's the extra large. So.
So I figure, why not? You gotta take some pictures of yourself in your favorite Destination XL gear and upload them in that, and then they're gonna select semifinalists or quarter, whatever, and then it'll be a fan vote. So
I think I'm up there. So
all you being tall guys out there, and I was just shot to get into the modeling game. It's not just for dudes with 6-packs anymore. So there you go. What else is going on this week? What'd you guys see? What'd you just come across?
Just have one story for gaming. The Blizzard president, J. Allen Brack, he has stepped down from his position after all the stuff from last week. So
just one person stepped away. That's it.
Just one person so far.
For now.
Just one. Mm-hmm.
We'll see how much more this leads to.
Yeah, and that's it for gaming. There wasn't much this week.
Talking about money before, South Park, the creators of that they're going to make a ton more money. South Park was renewed for 4 more seasons on Comedy Central, so they're going to be renewed up through season 30 right now. And then they got a side deal with Paramount Plus because that's the company that owns Comedy Central, and they're going to be doing 14 movies on Paramount Plus 2 this year.
Talking about that. Trying to figure out how you want to stretch out 14 movies.
Man, that's too much.
It's rough.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Seeing as they've only technically done one so far, unless you count like the episode arcs that go over multiple episodes, or like the pandemic specials that they just did. But
yeah, it's just been the bigger, longer uncut was the only true movie,
20 years ago.
Yeah, and they've done two regular films, but that's just them two.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a come up from construction paper in your garage
Yeah.
to getting 400 million or something like that. I think
900.
900.
Jesus. Hey, salute to them.
Mhm.
I mean,
If you want to start a side gig, we can pay the Chasing.
it was funny because me and my cousin were talking about South Park on Wednesday night because like they've done the pandemic specials, but like their whole thing that they always talk about is that they have the voices in house, so all they need to do is like a week for an episode. They did that big special on that a couple years ago. It's like, why aren't they doing more episodes during this? If you can do it, do it. Entertain people. So with the movies coming out, I guess that's their plan.
So
I guess what the TV gives you. What the TV contract gives you, I guess.
Besides The Simpsons, and this renewal put them through season 30, has there been another show that's been on the air longer?
Raw.
Do you mean cartoon or?
Well, I don't consider Raw. I know they consider it, but
just like television. Just like television,
like a weekly television show. If they're getting renewed through season 30, The Simpsons is the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that's been on the air longer. They're going into 35 or 36. Like they're almost as old as we are. Like,
do you consider soaps?
No, not for me.
Okay.
There's not many of them left.
Yeah, no,
I don't consider those TV shows.
It might be those two.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. When you said renew through 30, I immediately was like, okay, well, The Simpsons is the only other show that I can think of that's been on the air longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's really impressive when you think about it.
That is. Mm-hmm.
What is it? Family Guy still on?
Family
Guy's still on. That's well.
Within the 20s.
We won't get into that, but yeah.
Seth MacFarlane apparently wants to take it off Fox. But you can look that up yourself.
He moved American Dad to TBS a few years ago. Whenever Fox cut that, so maybe he ends up at TBS too.
Yeah. So but Family Guy hasn't been on. I mean, it's been on long, but it's not.
Yeah, not as long.
Yeah, up there.
Yeah. It also had that break in between too of a few years.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess cartoons are the way to go. Adult cartoons.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to pay actors. So that's the only thing that lasts.
I've watched South Park, but I haven't watched Simpsons or Family Guy in a while. Kind of got bored with them.
Yeah, South Park. I go through my phases. There was a run there for a while where it was like must watch TV every single week. They were hitting.
The last few seasons of South Park, I didn't really care for.
Yeah, it was like every week it was sit down TV at 10 o'clock watching South Park.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Shout out to them. Like that's, like I said, they go from, we might have to start doing shadow puppets or something in my basement. That into a deal. Like that's crazy.
What was the one that was on Cartoon Network that they did like the clay animation or something, or like the action figures?
Was that Robot Chicken?
Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could do something like that.
Going. Keep on bringing that back.
Yeah, that's nuts.
If I told you there was a Rick James documentary, what would you have titled it?
I'm Rick. Like, where else would you go with that? Like,
Showtime has a documentary coming up, and it's called Bitchin'. I watched the whole trailer, and I was like, please be I'm Rick James, bitch.
Whoever their marketing team is dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
Who's playing Rick James? Or is it just a
document about his life? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Something I definitely want to watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of those individuals, like, we caught a glimpse of it with Charlie Murphy's True Stories, but like if you really like look back and like that'll be something to watch for sure. Yeah. Entertaining, no doubt. No doubt. I did see, this is from the Hollywood Reporter, that Cobra Kai star, and I don't want to butcher his name, but
Just say Miguel.
yeah, Miguel.
Yeah.
I look at his name too, like,
Yeah,
Miguel.
he's in negotiations to star as the lead in Angel Manuel Soto's Blue Beetle, the first DC film to center on a Latino superhero. So, project expected to go into production in early 2022 and will premiere on HBO Max.
I remember when they did Blue Beetle in Smallville, and it was just awful.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll. Yeah, I don't know.
I told Jason that there are tiers to your superheroes. Like you got the big three at the top tier, then this next tier down, you might get like a Green Lantern, Robin, Bat Thing. Blue Beetle is like slumming it out.
Blue Beetle's the jobber of superheroes.
Yeah.
They're not even jobbers; they're just enhancement talent, just local enhancement talent.
But speaking of him, we did get the another official trailer drop for Cobra Kai season 4 this week. That will be coming out in December, so Christmas comes early for me. I cannot wait. That Cobra Kai is my Game of Thrones. I'm binging it, watching it.
It's my Glee.
I love everything about it. I love everything they've done the first 3 seasons. We've talked about it before, but yeah, they've laid it out. I think it's signed on through season 6. As of right now, they have 6 seasons total, so 3 more to come.
Hey,
I think as it gets closer, I'm gonna have to binge it all again.
I think I'm gonna watch it one day at a time, just to stretch it out.
An episode a day.
An episode a day. You get done in one day and be like, "Damn, you gotta wait a year."
Yeah.
Now that you watch it again.
Yeah, you want. Yeah, like. And then speaking of TV, what the hell is the farce with the Jeopardy celebrity auditions? If Yins were just gonna hire the executive producer from the get-go, why did we even go through it?
People wouldn't have tuned in. That would have been it. No one would have tuned into it. That's why they did it.
Like he was, I mean, obviously, like he's been the executive producer for a couple of years, so like he knows how to run a show and everything else and all that, and you could tell how comfortable he was and everything. And not saying that he wasn't good, but it's just like, I mean, it just screams everything that's wrong with corporate America and hiring and everything else. If you want to look at it from that standpoint, where it's like, inside job, like,
yep.
It's like the Rooney Rule.
The Rooney Rule.
Yeah, it's like the Rooney Rule in football. Like you already had your guy picked, but we got to have in these other candidates just so we can comply with this. So let's have in all these celebrity guest pickers, make people think that they have a voice, and then now we're just gonna promote from in-house and hire the executive producer of the show.
Did you guys have a favorite like guest host throughout the past year?
I liked Aaron Rodgers a lot. I liked, and I always butcher her real name, but
Bialik.
Yeah, Blossom. I liked her a lot, and then I liked LeVar Burton.
I only watched LeVar Burton.
So,
but then dude who was playing was so trash. I was like, I can't watch this. He was like in the negative like the whole damn show.
Oh yeah, that was his first episode. Yeah, they were talking about that, like how people felt like that kind of took away from him.
Yeah, but the rest of his episodes were good. Like it was that first one, but no,
my favorite was Mayim Bialik as well. Like I was hoping she might get on, but no, I didn't mind LeVar Burton. I would have been happy if he would have been picked too.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but I mean, whatever. Farce. Yeah, farce.
I got one snack for this week. This one surprised me. Famous Amos. I didn't even think they still made those things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Are coming out with 3 new flavors. They're coming out with a Belgian chocolate chip, a Philippine coconut with white chocolate, and a Mediterranean hazelnut with chocolate chips.
Stick with what you know, man.
Yeah.
Like, why?
And they all sound nasty.
Stick
thought-
to the basics.
I thought all Famous Amos cookies were made in the 80s and are still packaged today. Because they're all hard as shit.
So Famous Amos is the Twinkie of the cookie family.
That's around forever.
When the apocalypse comes, there'll be Twinkies and Famous Amos cookies. That's
You're
what you
good
say.
to go.
I mean, Famous Amos is all right. It's not like I'm not rushing to go buy Famous Amos cookies.
You gotta soak them in milk. You just gotta let them sit overnight.
Exactly, overnight.
Put them in a mason jar and milk overnight, and then they'll be good to go in the morning.
I think we found out that Famous Amos will not be sponsoring this show anytime soon.
And they're right off the coattails of Chris with the snacks. M&M, they're making their own peanut butter now. So they're making their own crunchy peanut butter, and it's going to have milk chocolate M&M pieces in it for the crunch. Yeah, and it costs $12.99 a jar.
How big is the jar? Talk to me.
I don't. They didn't, man. They didn't even say. They just said jar.
It better be a tub. It better be. It better be this big. It better be.
And the only way you can get it is
really have around you.
Always got something around me. Props, my man. Props.
And the only way you can get it is online only, and it's shipped out from the UK from their Candy Funhouse company.
So you're paying extra on the shipping.
Extra.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. On top of the $12.99.
Need my peanut butter to pass customs.
That's ridiculous.
So M&M's in the game.
Also on snacks, does anyone have interest in Flamin' Hot Cheetos ice cream or milkshake?
No.
Ass or fire?
No.
Yo, like I thought they should have got a technical foul or an ejection whenever they came out with the Flamin' Hot mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And all that BS. But the fact that somebody in marketing and advertising, and these people get paid big money to come up with this shit. So it just goes to show you I went into the wrong profession. But the fact
to try it, just to try it.
The fact that you walked into a boardroom meeting and you pitched Flamin' Hot ice cream and everybody sat around like, that's a good idea. Let's do that. We'll put it in a Flamin' Hot waffle cone and add some Flamin' Hot sprinkles and some Flamin' Hot syrup and everything else. Like, what are we doing?
Put that out there with the mac and cheese ice cream from a couple weeks ago too. Just no.
It's that what's that thing where they scrape the ice cream? That's where they got that shit from.
The Cold Stone Creamery?
Cold Stone. Not the creamer, but those people just doing Cold Stone. They just chop up anything. They're like, here, let's try this. Chop it up, make it into a little Cold Stone.
Hey, and this is coming from the guy that said the Cold Stone should have stayed on the ice cream list a few weeks ago.
Hey, I didn't say it was Cold Stone. It's Cold
Stone. There's not enough cannabis grown in the United States that I could smoke to where I would be so high that I would come up with the idea, let's make some Flamin' Hot Cheetos ice cream. No, it's not gonna happen. Like, that's just two things that don't mix.
No.
Like, what? Like, I don't understand it, and I don't get it at all.
But you're supposed to have dairy to calm the heat, so maybe that's why.
No, please.
Food and snacks became like Hollywood. They just make anything.
Yes.
Anything.
Also, speaking of snacks, does anybody eat Dots pretzels?
Dots pretzels? I know
Yeah.
Dots gummies.
Dots
pretzels.
These are the rage now at our store, pretty much.
No, I never had.
Well, these are pretty much plain pretzels because I sucked all the honey mustard off. Because
that's what she said. There's so many questions I have with that statement that you just said. We gotta keep the intro short. And we
too late.
We're already 20 minutes into it, and I didn't think I sucked all the honey mustard off it would be a statement that I would get right now. But
there's Jason's OnlyFans account.
All right.
That sounds like a good transition.
Yeah, that's a horrible transition. Flip it over. Coming off of that terrible transition, I guess we can get into terrible wrestling programming from this week. All right, so like we tried to keep these topics generalized and filter in, tie-ins from the week that was based off of some general topics. WWE this week, and we'll just, I guess, start off with main roster here before we jump into, I guess, the real news from last night. Wrestling programming was the releases that came out, but does WWE know how to build to a pay-per-view nowadays?
No. We've talked for how many months on this show, like even predictions, that they don't even know how to do a go-home show anymore. They sure don't know how to build up to a pay-per-view.
There has been no build to this SummerSlam. It's just been match announcements for going on 3-4 weeks now, and we still have 2 weeks to go.
That's it. Typical WrestleMania. Just point to the side. I call my shot.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
I mean,
It's
coming, so just tell them the match. Everybody reads the dirt sheets.
And then we fight the same fight.
Bookers.
And then we fight the same fight we're going to see at the pay-per-view 9 times before then.
Okay, so Jason, on your topic there, so the product is currently geared towards children.
Yeah.
I don't think kids are reading the dirt sheets, so you can't even provide entertainment for the kids that you're trying to get hooked on the product.
It's universal. Universal.
Oh, I can tell we got our cape on early this morning. Got our fucking cape on early this morning.
I mean, what else do you stick up for the product?
It's because there's really not a lot to stick up for right now, honestly. Like, I think the problem that they find themselves in, and maybe because we're doing this podcast, I'm more closely watching certain things and looking for certain things that I didn't look for previously whenever I would watch wrestling. But I think because they do so many shows and they're so close together, like this may be one of the bigger gaps in the season of pay-per-views for WWE, where they had 6 weeks between pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a fast turnaround that there's no time to build anything. They don't have the ability to tell any stories or to build anything, because you're literally just going from one pay-per-view to the next. And I know that's been the formula for them for a while. I mean, it was even worse whenever they were doing brand shows and you had 23 pay-per-views a year instead of 13 or 14 that you have now. But like, you can't develop anything. Everything's hot-shotted in such a tight window that there's no room for anything to grow organically. And some, like, I guess you could say there's bits and pieces, or there's certain feuds or certain matches that you can, if you look back and you can say, okay, well, they've told us over time, but yet they've put them together in matches so many times over that course. So, like, for example, for SummerSlam, Seth and Edge has been told over the course of, many weeks, a month, 2 months, but like, that one's a bad example. Let me do it. Seth and Cesaro going into SummerSlam WrestleMania, and then afterwards, like, the story, they did tell that story, but it was like they interacted so much and had so many matches that by the time the payoff match came, it was just another match.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, to me, that hurts. That
really does see them wrestle.
For me, that hurts the product. That hurts the overall show. Like, I mean, Christ, on the women's side of Raw, you've had Rhea and Charlotte work every pay-per-view since WrestleMania, and they're doing a triple threat at SummerSlam. So they're talking April to August. They've been in every single pay-per-view against each other.
Like, the match this week was good in the main event between Nikki and Charlotte, but
how many times have you seen it?
Yeah, you've seen it, and
you've seen it a week before.
How's that building for the match? Really, that was kind of a payoff match. I felt more than a continuation for a couple more weeks.
But they did it with the caveat of a number one contenders match. Can we stop this with WWE because it's on both shows now, and it's just really. I don't know what writer came up with it and sold it, or what pitchman got this approved to have this done now, but every single number one contenders match is a person fighting the champion, and if they beat the champion and they do well against the champion, then they'll get a title match against the champion. But we just watch them wrestle the champion.
Mm-hmm.
You're number one. You're not supposed to get it. That's not how you build a number one contender.
For a while there, it felt like Raw and SmackDown were two different shows with the writing teams, because SmackDown had a much better feel to the show. Lately, it feels like Raw and SmackDown are using the same writing team because there's very little difference between them.
Like last night, you had to go off into the weeds where, like Eric Bischoff says, even though not supposed to, I wanted to keep it generalized, but just because we're spitballing and shit coming up, it's making me think of stuff. So last night from the show, right, we got the replay of the Cena Reigns contract 3 times, I think, throughout the show. They showed it, what happened and everything else, right? Then, so that's approved, right? That contract's valid, it's binding, it's Cena Reigns at SummerSlam, right? Well, last night you have Zelina Vega, who the week before called her shot against Bianca. Bianca accepted it. Then last night she calls her shot against Bianca. Bianca accepts it again for last night on the show. Then they do a backstage segment, and Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville are like, well, the contract's not ratified, and you have to earn your way into a championship match. And if you do good against the champion in this match, then we'll give you a shot of the winner against Sasha and Bianca. It's like that completely contrasts what you just did with the main event of SummerSlam. So you're not even consistently writing the same stuff on the same show.
So Cena can forge a contract, and that's fine. But whenever you actually have a stipulation agreed upon by the two parties, no.
By the two parties 2 weeks in a row, and yet you still don't give her the title match. You say she has to earn it because the contract's not ratified, and you don't get to make matches around here. I make matches around here. What Sonya Deville said, and it's like, what are we doing? We're not even being consistent on our own show with what we write with. Like, how does stuff like that get missed?
Trash.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had the answer. If we had the answer, we'd be working there.
Okay. Come on, Captain WWE Pants. Like, what do you got for this?
I'll watch it and enjoy it. She probably won't get the match. That's why. She's not fighting for the title after SummerSlam.
But there's no rhyme, reason, logic in anything that they do. It's just we're just supposed to be zombies for WWE that tune in every Monday and Friday because that's what we've done for 20 years. And you're just supposed to be like you and sit there and enjoy it and take
preferential treatment.
What Cena got preferential treatment?
Yeah, you'll give him you'll change that title for Cena. Change that contract.
But
to get the match.
But that's what I'm saying. That stuff hurts. That's why you don't have people in certain demographics tuning in anymore because they do dumb shit like that.
That hurt. Somebody was really paying that much attention.
A lot of that is the reason why people are not watching WWE anymore because they're
not watching the same matches over and over.
It's not just the same matches over and over. It's the writing of the show makes no sense.
Honestly, the reason why I stopped watching Raw for a while, and probably after SummerSlam I'll stop again, I'm not entertained at all.
I stopped already.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be the same thing with SmackDown if that doesn't improve, because it's just becoming just as bad as Raw.
Did you think SmackDown was a good show last night, Jay?
It was decent.
I thought it was. I thought it was a terrible show.
It wasn't one of their best. But I watched it. It was decent. It was watchable.
I think
I like Raw better. this week.
There was nothing last night that was done that was entertaining for me. The opening segment was trash. The promos that everybody cut was just like it's so not the individuals talking. It's not even funny.
No.
Even Sasha, it was like
You didn't like that?
no.
I and even when Bianca came out, so like last week we kind of said, okay, the end of the show ended with Bianca getting her ass beat. We were kind of hoping that was going to change things up.
No,
Bianca comes back out and is smiling again.
But she wasn't the same inspirational Bianca.
She wasn't
but
that different.
But they gave her with the baby girl and and no.
That's never going to change. That's going to be her if she's healed. Even if she's healed, that's going to be her.
But that goes back to what I said months ago whenever they were building her up to WrestleMania with Sasha. Like, it's the stereotype of it's the stereotype way that the older white gentlemen think that Black African American women talk to each other with the pulling on the earrings and
but
that's not how she talked in NXT. Like, look at how she talked in NXT. Why can't you let her do that on the main roster?
It was how she talked in NXT.
She wasn't this over the top in NXT.
It was the same character.
She's definitely more over the top on SmackDown than she was in NXT. I'm not saying it's completely different.
She didn't have as much talking time in NXT.
It's just that
you didn't get to see the character.
Those promos did nothing for anybody last night.
They were entertaining for me. They came off good to me. I enjoyed them.
Like I honestly last night, like I think the highlight of last night for me was probably the Seth and Edge promo.
I'd agree with that.
That was probably the highlight for me last night.
I don't know. I'm starting to tune them two out.
I felt like it went on a little too long, but
all the segments do now.
Yeah.
That's
very true. All the segments do take.
I'm kind of over just Seth laughing all the time with Edge. That kind of bores me, but I felt like the promo did at least hit to get where it needed to go.
So yeah, it just.
We didn't care for Finn. Neither of those talking segments.
His backstage interview, I didn't care for because it was like, again, I'm comparing it to what he did on the microphone during his last NXT run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was hitting in those promos. Last night, it's like he just kept repeating the same thing, and then he was like, "I'm gonna beat Honor and Integrity and then Corbin," and it's like, where is this Finn? Who we've never heard him use Honor and Integrity before. Like, it's not something that Finn Balor would say. Like, it just didn't. It didn't work. Like, didn't at all. I am his promo in the ring after the match was better.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's not.
But it did nothing for you to set up the next story.
But what's the next story?
Him and Cena.
So what? They're going to fight next week before the pay-per-view to see who faces
for the real number one contender.
No, I don't know. I don't think they fight next week.
Well, they're not going to fight after SummerSlam. Cena's not sticking around that long.
He'll be back. I think he's only coming back for Madison Square Garden afterwards.
There you go.
So what? That's just going to be a payoff at Madison Square Garden for you took my contract.
You can get Finn, yeah.
Well,
and speaking of Cena, so it's the summer of Cena, and he wasn't even used last night. He's there, but wasn't used.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to be used last night because it was the premiere of Suicide Squad. So you knew he wasn't going to be there that week.
I think they said he was there. They just didn't use him.
I would find that hard to believe that he was actually there the weekend that Suicide Squad premieres and they didn't use him if he was there. Now I could be completely wrong, but to me that would make no sense. To me, he would be out. He doing
the media rounds.
I'll check, but I thought he was advertised for the show.
Well, that's not the first time that WWE has advertised something for the show and changed it up.
Card subject to change.
But since you brought up Cena, I want to let's get into this topic here. John Cena this week on the current state of WWE says the longer they continue to bet on an aging prospect, that makes WWE's future a little bit less stable.
So
on a what?
John Cena
On an aging?
on the state of WWE says the longer they continue to bet on an aging prospect, that makes WWE's future a little bit less stable. I.e., the longer you continue to rely on me and Goldberg to come back for stuff like this, you're putting your future at risk because you're not building anybody else up.
That is every single company in the world. I believe that 100%.
I mean, that's been WWE for a long time.
But that's
They've always like bringing product back.
So how can you say that if he's been it and is it?
But I think that's what he's trying to.
He's trying to get the Vince. Yeah,
trying to get is that
stop using me. Yeah,
you shouldn't have to call me in.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to call Goldberg in for SummerSlam. Like you shouldn't.
Nobody.
You know what I mean? Like Edge is. I won't lump Edge into this because he signed a 5-year deal and he's actually doing a run with them. So like, yes, he's older, but he's not just like this comeback for one storyline at a pay-per-view and leave. Like, it's just like you're literally at that precipice where you can't go to that well anymore. Those guys are late 40s, early 50s, and that like there's maybe 2 or 3 that you can rely on to come in, and Cena, Goldberg, and potentially The Rock would be the 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. Other than that,
well, then that's good. They're just forcing you to. They're just going to force you to build stars.
But he's saying like now.
But
they're still forcing them onto the product though, because at some point Lesnar's coming back. There will be a point where this all lifts. He'll be able to travel again, and he'll come back. So they'll throw him right back into the main spot that he was at before, and they're doing the same thing with Goldberg right now.
If they stopped, what other company would have done? Wouldn't take him?
I don't see AEW signing Goldberg and using Goldberg.
Not Goldberg, nor Cena, nor who's the other one?
I don't know if Cena would go anywhere else.
Cena wouldn't.
Cena wouldn't, but I don't think Cena would. Even if Cena would sign with AEW, that would be like Cena walking into ECW back in One Night Stand in 2005.
And I don't know if Goldberg would go anywhere else because I don't know if AEW would pay him the money that he wants because that's all he cares about. Brock Lesnar would be about the money too.
Yeah, Lesnar to me, I could see potentially, but again, I think the reaction to Lesnar, like there's certain guys that are older that are your stars that fit AEW when you look at them and whatever. So like Sting, which he's there, Christian, which he's there. Other than that, like what older star does AEW use?
What I'm saying, they wouldn't if they had the opportunity, they wouldn't pull in the Goldberg or Brock Lesnar.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Fuck out of here. No. They would definitely jump in.
Lesnar would be the only one that I could potentially see, but no, I don't see them doing Goldberg.
I think Lesnar, yeah, but the way his like creativity is, pulling on his character and putting people over, he wouldn't do it. So I don't think they'll bring him in because of that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like if you're doing Lesnar, like with Dan Lambert coming back with him since he runs America Top Team and there's the MMA tie-in and everything else, like, okay, I could see that as a fit. But like, just to bring Lesnar in, to me,
If the opportunity was there for any of those superstars, they definitely do it. Don't say they wouldn't.
I don't think
would.
so. I don't think so. Not the way that
I'm not saying the superstars wouldn't, but they would. They definitely would.
I don't think so. I don't.
Okay.
That doesn't fit them. It has to be a fit. Tony Khan has talked about it. Like, and Cody's come out and talked about, you know, all the signings that they've had and everything else. He's like, why would we not sign people that we think knows that can move the needle, regardless of where they've been? So if it's somebody that moves the needle and we know they move,
Those three guys that we just talked about would move the needle for any company.
Goldberg now at this age, you think he moves the needle?
Fans are still clamoring for it.
No, fans are not clamoring for it. They're not clamoring for it now. Come on now.
I think if he
Goldberg
went,
walk
I think
out.
if he went
The
to
laugh
AEW for one night, he'd get he'd move the needle for one night. It wouldn't move the needle long term.
But going back to his point,
Start building your young guys.
and they don't have.
It should have been.
And I think this is a good
that.
segue of that they're not doing that after yesterday. You sit there and release 12 or 13 people last night that are young talent.
With the possibility of Dunn and Cole even.
Yeah.
Were any of those guys you clamoring for?
Cole.
No, not them two. The guys that were released.
So out of the releases last night, what I found most interesting was, hold on, let me pull
Mercedes
it up.
was the one I found most.
I think Mercedes really could have been something.
To me, Bronson.
Bronson, me is there's a couple on here that are really baffling. Bronson for me,
I was never big on Bronson, but
I wasn't, but
know other people
after you
were.
just came off the run.
he just not only did he just have the run with the North American Championship, but he was up on SmackDown and Raw doing dark matches for 6 weeks.
I was thinking that last night. Do you think that was a test? Maybe instead of a possible move, maybe they were testing to see what he could do if he was worth moving up.
How do you not look at that at him with his size and everything else, and not be able to use him?
Look how many people they don't use right.
A bunch of these guys won't translate to main roster.
Bronson was surprising. Bobby Fish was somewhat surprising.
Yeah, but considering his age and everything,
I think age and injuries for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Russ to me was another one that was really baffling. You had him out, then he got paired up with Malcolm Bivens, then they go off TV for a while, then you bring him back as part of Diamond Mine,
Yeah,
now he's released. So it's like, what does that say about Diamond Mine? Are you already giving up on that? You just had Strong and Fitz, like.
Well, they keep on saying he's not the one or the two, or he's not the two or the three. He's the guy, and it's just probably going to be him. It's probably going to be Strong.
But
why even start a stable?
Yeah, like it makes no sense.
You know,
I'm sure Triple H wasn't the one cutting these guys either. You know, so it's like that probably screws up plans that he had for NXT for these people.
Does he have any say in releases?
Not anymore. He did before. Whenever he was head of talent, he did have a say. But now that he's no longer head of talent now.
Who is that now?
Johnny Ace. Yeah.
Jake Atlas.
Jake
Atlas he really didn't do anything for me.
No, I like Jake, but yeah.
Nothing lately. Nothing lately.
I agree. He hasn't done anything lately.
And Leon Ruff,
I never understood the point that he was there in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he had. I told
that could have made him swerve a million times and I'd have watched it, honestly. But
he came in, had the 1-2-3 kid match, became champion. You got the pot. He could have been your cheeseburger of NXT.
No.
For those of you that don't know, cheeseburgers.
He had his run.
Yeah.
They got everything they could out of him.
But he was improving. It's not like he plateaued as a worker. because he got better
as time went on.
Yeah.
As time went on. Like you could, you're never not going to be able to tell that story of the underdog trying to overcome. Like that's tried and true throughout the history of wrestling, throughout the history of sports. The underdog story is told consistently. That narrative is pushed. That's a perfect guy that you could consistently do that with. Like, I mean, look, like it just I don't get it. And the fact that these guys are walking, you know, some of them are rumored to walk, like Cole and Dunn. To me, like you lose them to like.
I'm really surprised we're not seeing more.
There's two guys that move the needle that you can bring into AEW. There's two guys that move the needle that you can bring into NWA. There's two guys that moves the needle that you can bring into Impact.
They'll get lost in the shuffle in AEW.
Who will? Cole and Dunn?
Yeah.
You're out of your Adam Cole gets lost in the shuffle in AEW.
He'll get lost in the shuffle in AEW.
Those are his friends down there.
Yeah.
No way.
I think Cole will be down there. Dunn I could see just stay wrestling either in New Japan or
go back to UK. Yeah.
And so you're releasing all this NXT talent. It really makes me question what the future of the NXT growth is. You know, we talked about NXT Japan and all these other farm systems coming up. If they're releasing this many off the main roster, when's going to be the time where they just go, okay, we're just going to cut loose of NXT UK?
Well, I mean, you saw that. Shout out to all our listeners in India. We love you guys. Second biggest market. Keep tuning in every single week. But we saw that special and that talk and everything else. Mm-hmm. Well, now nothing came about it. Sanjay Dutt left the company. Like the people that you had in place to do that, it's not there. And I don't know if, like, yes, you know, COVID came and that was a big thing, but now it's like, all right, well, I'm not even going to do it anymore.
Now, the rumor last night with all this that came out, we'll see if this is true or not, was that WWE considers NXT no longer the third brand. They're going to go back to just being a developmental system. And so if that's true, you know, I think we're going to see more cuts down the road. And NXT is going to get, you know, cut even more. For me, I wish it would just go back to an hour show. I enjoyed NXT a whole lot more whenever it was an hour than a 2-hour show.
Then why have them on USA every week if you're gonna do that? Just put them back to being on Peacock.
Maybe they will.
Like, why are you wasting the money on the production and everything else? Like, unless it's USA saying, "Hey, we want another program."
Yeah.
And they're just like, all right, well, because they're paying us so much, we'll throw it on Tuesday nights. But like, to me at this point, like literally now where I'm at with WWE is like, nothing's going to change until Vince leaves.
And it can get so much worse after that too.
Nothing about the product's going to get better until Vince leaves.
Chris, he said that for a long time.
Yeah. And honestly, you know, he pissed me off in the last conference call, but I think it's going to get a whole lot worse once he is gone, because I don't think he's going to step down until, because and we've talked about this on the show, they cannot just hand over the company, you know, he can't hand it over to Triple H or Stephanie or whatever unless they remove it from being a public company. So the only thing that he can do really is sell the company to somebody. So say NBC steps in and buys it. I think you're looking at WCW all over again. If somebody would come in and buy WWE, they're not gonna put the right people in charge, or as soon as ratings tank, they're gonna shake shit up. Like, I don't know. I don't see the future being a good one for WWE.
Which is crazy because they were the stalwart, and you know.
I think the best thing for them to do is be removed from being a publicly traded company, go back to being privately owned, and then the family do whatever they want to do.
That won't happen now. Once you go public,
too much money.
It's really hard not to stay public, because then you got to pay out all those shares. Like that's not, you know what I mean? Like
too much money, way too much money.
Yeah. What you guys like from NXT itself this week? To me, the best part of NXT was the Walter Dragunov video promo package. That was the highlight for me this week.
And that was a long video package for
it
being
was
on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dakota's package too.
Eh.
I didn't mind that. I like that.
I'm a little nervous about the Walter Dragunov match just because of how much I enjoyed the first one.
This one ain't gonna
in
live
my
up.
mind, it's just like I'm trying not to hype it up because I want to watch this match and really enjoy it. But it's just like, is it going to be able to live up to that first one too at the same time? I think it's going to be a good match, but
they're playing it up too, big time.
They are, yeah, because of how good that first one was.
Yep.
But other than that, I didn't. NXT
there wasn't much.
I like matches. I didn't care for stories. Like I like the Hit Row and Phantasm match, but I'm not a Hit Row fan. I don't like that.
I didn't mind the match, but just everything else after was
just give me Santos and Swerve.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
Them two as Killshot and King Cuerno and Lucha Underground, like I know what them two can do in the ring together. Yeah. So like
everything else was just the Zoe EO stuff really didn't hit.
That was terrible.
that was really
that's
bad.
that's like the eight, like you want to talk about stereotypes. Like that came off so
It did.
So just dense and just not self-aware of anything in 2021. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Grimes LA Knight match.
It did nothing.
I just don't care much for the storyline anymore, though.
No, I'm over that.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have anything else for that.
All right. Anything else WWE wise?
No.
No. All right. Let's hop over to the other promotion that is AEW. Let's just get right into it. What'd you think of the main event and the retirement / cliffhanger that they left us with last week?
The main event itself, I was cool with. The story they were trying to tell right before the match and after the match, that did nothing for me. Like, I did not enjoy either. Like, Malachi came out, and Excalibur was saying on commentary, I think I wrote it down here. Malachi said Cody is past his prime and needs to put him down. Malachi's a month older than Cody. So if Cody's past his prime, wouldn't that mean Malachi's past his prime? Like, if you're sitting there saying, like if they would have changed it up some, like Cody's too big for, Cody thinks he's too big or something, then maybe I could understand he's trying to take him down a peg. But whenever you sit there and say that he's past his prime,
I think that's Excalibur saying it wrong, because the talking that Malachi has done leading up to this match has been, you don't have the fire no more. You don't have that same look in your eye. You don't have the hunger anymore. So I'm going to put you out. Like, that's the story that he's telling. So I think there was just disconnect there with the verbiage, because then, when you say that, it leads you to an age thing, and it's like, well, you're a month older, so that doesn't make much sense. I think it's just the language and the verbiage used there just didn't line up to get the same point across.
Yeah. And then the whole ending, I just thought that dragged on way too long. But the actual match, I was cool with. Like, I thought they did enough in the match that they didn't do a lot, but they just did enough to put Malachi over.
For me,
they made him an instant player.
Yeah.
For me, I was shocked of the match because I really thought Cody was going to beat him, because Cody beats everybody the first time around, just the way I was thinking.
That narrative is a made up internet wrestling community narrative.
Just like that.
If you look, Cody Rhodes doesn't put anybody over, and you look at the list of people that Cody has put over since his time in AEW, there really hasn't been anybody that he's wrestled that hasn't come out better for it.
And then the whole thing it didn't like him talking. But that was completely useless for me.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do. I did not enjoy that at all.
So
But then I was thinking, oh, then he'll go over it all out when they said he's going to be gone. But no, I think he's going to fight again.
So that during Dynamite, Twitter, the timeline blew up because Cody sent out like this mass group message or whatever to people, basically wrote out verbatim what the promo was in the ring. So everybody's like, what the hell's going on? Like, is this like, what's Cody talking about? Is he done with, all this stuff, right? So while that was all going on, then it came out that it was, season 2 of the Go Big Show got renewed. So he's going away to film again, like he did the last time whenever Brody took him out. But then people were like, well, what does that mean for All Out and everything else and all this other stuff and whatever. I don't know. For me, the match was what it was because it established Malachi immediately. At first, I thought they were trolling the UFC and Joe Rogan and Conor McGregor because Cody was playing up the knee injury. Shivani got in the ring, kneeled down next to him, and I'm like, oh, this is them trolling the UFC with Joe Rogan interviewing Conor after Conor broke his ankle in the last match where they cut that promo on the floor of the cage in the octagon. I don't know. I mean, Cody has hinted that he doesn't want to stay in wrestling past 40, right? He just had a baby. That brings on a new perspective. Things change. He's had a taste of stuff outside of AEW with, the Go Big Show, and he's done TV with Stephen Amell and a couple of things like that. He's also talked about potential political run. So, like, you can kind of buy into him doing this retirement and hanging it up when you look at all of that stuff in totality. But
are you falling for it? You're not seeing it coming. You're not seeing the comeback coming.
I like
comeback out.
I think I like the.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that you could like to have him do and say what he did on Wednesday night. When you look at everything that's gone on since AEW started,
I don't even know what he said. As soon as he started talking, I turned the shit off.
He was giving his New Japan speech after the title win. Now everybody would be like, "This is New Japan. I did this for AEW."
Could they have not given him the kid's crutch though in the ring? He stands up and it's like more of a cane than it is a crutch for him.
We gonna talk about that table spot?
It's just too much. I didn't mind that. The push off.
I didn't mind the table spot.
And shit on LA Knight and Cameron Grimes.
Find the push off. Hey.
I think again with that.
And when you don't got that velocity, you gotta do something.
With that spot again, this is where AEW sometimes falls short, and we've seen it happen before. But it's the angle in which they shot it. It's the production of it, right? Like you could have shot that from a different angle so that him jumping back doesn't look as noticeable. But the camera angle that you used was right there to where you saw him.
Everything.
Yeah, like.
But it is what it is.
Mind the match.
It is what it is. I mean, I didn't mind the match, but you guys know my feelings about Cody. So
I was surprised when Malachi came back out and hit him with the crutch again. But I kind of felt like, okay, that's all you did though. Like that's just to take him out.
Well, so after the show went off the air, fan footage came out, and Cody continued to play up the retirement and took off the other boot and left both boots in the ring and walked out. So
that's why you can't have fans back.
Continuing it on. So I don't know. Listen, I don't know where all this goes. Malachi was on Jericho's podcast, and it really good listen for those of you go back and listen to that one. It was a really good episode. But he talked about the coming in, working with Cody, the story that them two are writing, where he's excited for where it's going and how stuff's going to be told and all that. And he brought up the fact, him and Jericho both, like, there's no writers in AEW. The wrestlers write the storylines together for their programs, and they go over it with Tony and then they go out, and what you see is what you get. So, like,
That's cool.
does that make any difference, or does that change your opinion of anything? Mainly Jason there in the upper right hand corner, that the storylines we're getting are created themselves.
That's good for a startup company.
I don't mind it because it's the actual. Hey, if the performers are dancing, let them, go at their own tune.
Let them choreograph the dance.
Yeah,
that's good. Then you're going to get to a point where you'll get a Hall or Nash or somebody in there. If it gets big enough,
it's not so much creative control. It's more and both him and Jericho both said it. It's the collaboration that they're allowed to bring stuff to the table, and it's not an automatic. No, we're not doing that. Not thanks, but no, we don't need your ideas. Like, it's no. Here's what I got. Here's what you got. Let's the three of us sit down together and let's work this out to where we can weave and tell a story from it. And to me, that's creative freedom that guys are looking for nowadays.
And it definitely works with promos because it helps you try to find your own voice instead of being told what your voice should be. Create something that actually is something from your own. And I think that's why Britt Baker's promos work out so well.
Would you get her and Red Velvet?
Didn't work out so well.
Huh?
I mean, it wasn't.
It was okay.
Yeah. Again, I enjoy Britt. I enjoy her every week when she comes out to talk. I'm not saying every week's a home run, but
they got together and they talked that out, and that's what they came up with. That shit.
Well, I mean, what Red Velvet said.
Better than a lot of shit that I watched on WWE this week.
A lot better than some of
none of them had a voice this week.
But Jay, to your point, because you're the rankings guy in AEW, right? To your point, so Red Velvet jumped over Tay Conti and Thunder Rosa to get a title match when she's not ranked the number one contender. But what Red Velvet said in the ring on Wednesday night would be believable as to why she's coming out and demanding a title match.
She called her shot.
She's 22-4.
She called her shot.
She
called her shot.
I accept. She gave
you hate in WWE, but she called her shot. You don't like people calling their shot, man.
I don't know what they're doing with Tay Conti though. I mean, if she's ranked up there and they haven't done shit with her in weeks.
And Dark and Evolution. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, the women's division in AEW gets a lot of flack, but from what I saw, like, WWE is extremely top heavy, and after that, there ain't a lot there. That Tamina and Tegan match last night was not good.
No.
Zelina and Bianca was not a good match.
No.
That was good.
No.
It wasn't their best, but it was good. It's better than AEW. It's better than Hirsch and
there were so many spots throughout that match where they just stood there and got set up for the other person and everything else. Like, people bash on AEW for that. But meanwhile, it was so noticeable in WWE, but yet you're okay with it.
It's with every women's match except for your top four in WWE and I say Deeb and Rosa in AEW. It's noticeable in every match.
But the fact that the fact that AEW's women's division is quote unquote so far behind WWE, it's not, to me, that's not the case when you look at, if it's not Sasha versus Bayley, like Bianca, to me, like, if you, and granted Bianca's still green when you count years in the wrestling business, but like, you could tell she was not, like, she wasn't able to carry Zelina to having a great match. Where if you put Sasha in there with Zelina, like, It's a different match.
Little
Just
different.
a little.
Just a little different. You'll still see the same on Zelina's end. You'll still see the same.
But I'm saying,
I get what you're saying with the spot.
for as good as Bianca is, right? There's still another tier that she needs to go up.
Yeah.
To get on that Bailey, Sasha, Charlotte.
Which is why I think why they're trying to push her with Bailey, why they're doing another match with Sasha. I think she needs to work with them to get there.
But it's just when you compare women's divisions, it's like, all right, well, let's stack them up. Whose women's division is actually deeper? AEW is not as far behind as people think they are.
Deep wise, they're beyond. I mean, just as in numbers.
No, I'm not talking in numbers.
But you're not getting with AEW. You're not getting the right people.
Explain that to me.
In matches, like you're not seeing Statlander and Britt.
Well, you're seeing Statlander and Nyla Rose next week. We'll see that on Dynamite.
I'm not that sold on Nyla Rose. She doesn't always put on the performance.
You're not sold on Nyla?
I'm not either.
Because you can see it with her too.
She's powerful, but that's all she's really got.
But if you go back to her and Rio, that's better than Zelina and Bianca from last night.
Yeah, definitely.
Way better than Tegan Nox and Tamina.
That's when Tamina's in. Come on.
But I'm just like the AEW women's division. Like I said, they signed Thunder Rosa. Kiera Hogan was in Dynamite on Wednesday night.
They're just they're not using the right people. Where's Big Swole? Big Swole can go.
Yeah, she hasn't been used in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to see Hirsch and Bunny, or you want to see Red Velvet and Hirsch?
What's wrong?
Because to me, Hirsch can go. Bunny.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I didn't understand why Bunny was put in that position.
As much credit as Penelope Ford gets, she's not up there either.
No, I like her. I just.
But would you rather have Bunny or? I don't want to just use Tegan Nox because she was just on last night. Would you rather have Bunny or Liv Morgan?
Liv.
I'll take Liv.
Liv is much better in the ring.
Yeah.
So why hasn't she been used? Where's she been at? What's she been doing?
You only get one women's match on SmackDown.
No, but I'm saying like they ran the like to build up to Money in the Bank. They ran that storyline with Liv, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then Money in the Bank happened. She's been off TV since. Just like you ran with Ricochet and Money in the Bank, and then what happened?
He was on last week. He fought in the Fatal 4, and
Reggie's got Ricochet's spot now.
Ricochet was on the main show last week. You guys didn't watch though. You read the notes. You missed that.
Yeah. I just think that the narrative needs to change, and it's not as big of a gap as what people think it is. Now, when you have everybody there from WWE, so like if you had the 4 horsewomen, you have Sasha, Charlotte, Bailey, Becky. Like, yeah, that 4 right there are 4 of the best. You can't
knock that.
You can't go that 4 deep in AEW right now. But
I think you're gonna add Natalia on that to have 5 deep, and I mean she's not on right now either because of injury.
But I would say if you go Britt, Thunder Rosa, Sheeta, and
take Sheeta off, put Rio on.
Take Sheeta off.
Take Sheeta off.
What?
Did
you say put Rio on instead of Sheeta?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't agree with you there.
I mean, that's
a taste thing. I don't agree with you there.
You're crazy.
I don't need Rio.
Maybe I haven't seen enough Rio to Really
I like
not.
Rio. I like Rio, but not over Sheeta.
Sheeta wasn't that great to me. Like first coming on, yeah, but as time went on, you could see like the step. It just like, how can I explain it? It wasn't like setup. It wasn't all there for me.
So her
I
fight
thought
against
she was the
her
most
fight against
consistent.
Brent wasn't that.
Come on, you give me one matches. I'm talking about consistently.
I think she's the most consistent in
Carried
the
the company for a year.
Her matches weren't that great.
Oh, I disagree.
Her matches
Nah. We're not watching the same. We're watching through different colored glasses there, bro. Because Sheeta to me was top five last year easily.
Yeah.
in AEW.
No, period.
Overall,
Yeah. Top 5. Period.
Sheeta was probably in my top 3 overall for 2020.
Absolutely.
Bailey was definitely number 1 last year. But
Definitely.
I take Sheeta's run over Asuka's run.
I would too.
yeah,
I'm talking about like in ring, like the matches themselves, not the stories, the matches.
yeah.
I
like Asuka, but Asuka's run there for a bit wasn't anything special.
In ring wise.
Yeah.
I'm taking Sheeta match wise. That run over Asuka's run. Absolutely.
Nah, her matches don't hit all like that. Maybe when we get together, we'll have to watch matches, and I can show you. Like, hey, there's a misstep. Hey, there's a mystery. Hey, she's
but every wrestling match has a misstep. There's no perfect match.
It's not supposed to look perfect. It's a fight. You're gonna like when that's what people don't get. That's one of the biggest things. Whenever I see people on Twitter blowing up, well,
you just complained about them standing there waiting for the next move. If there ain't supposed to be misses,
that's not a miss. That's me. That's me giving away what we're doing next because we're worried about the choreography of how we put the match together.
And I've seen that in just matches.
I would rather have a spot look sloppy than okay, let's set this up perfectly. You come in, I pick you up, I spin you around, and then we do this bum ass Hurricane Rana looking thing that doesn't even look that good, but we set it up for 5 minutes because you had to get the perfect running start to count your steps before you jumped up like you're a track star hopping over a hurdle.
Take a breath. There's a lot of words that came out in that one breath. Do a little meditation.
And that's why AEW's wrestlers write for men who write themselves.
All right. Anything else from AEW that you guys liked or didn't like?
I did not enjoy Jericho and Hoovy.
I
thought that was. Whew.
I didn't enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, honestly, AEW didn't hit for me at all this week. Like,
I thought that. I mean, Jericho and Hoovy was what it was.
It wasn't 20 years ago. That's for damn sure.
I mean, they're both 50 years old. Like,
but I mean, that was the thing that I brought up last week. Can Hoovy still go? That match didn't look like either of them can go.
Where's the playback? Steve saying he can still go. Play that.
Hoovy, if you watched Hoovy's matches in Mexico and that, yes, Hoovy can still go. Hoovy and Jericho together, that doesn't match up. You're asking two 50-year-old guys to go out there and fly around like luchadors. That's not gonna mesh well, especially with Jericho, because you can tell Jericho can't do that type of stuff no more.
No,
that's been evident. He started his run in AEW.
Yeah, that's easy.
So you were gonna to me, that was not the best of that. They were not set up to succeed in that match. To me, that was going to be a very hard hill to overcome.
My expectations going in were low because I had a feeling neither of them were going to be able to do what they used to be able to do, and I was hoping they were going to rise above my expectations. It did not meet.
But the one part that got me pissed off was when Hoovy jumped outside on the Jericho, and the crowd was like, "You still got it?"
Yeah,
it was like you just.
I think
jumped.
there was a "This is awesome" chant at some point.
This is awesome.
With a holy shit chant.
I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
was like he just jumped on him.
Hey, we said that for both shows. Live crowds are just going to eat anything.
I was like, dude, really?
Wrestling in front of live crowds again.
I
On
figure
both shows.
that's Jacksonville. They've been there for a bit.
I could have dealt without the whole Darby, Moxley, man, that whole match with Everrise and them. That was
the highest rated segment of the show this week.
Why did Sting get his hand raised?
I was just like,
why did Sting get his hand raised?
Why did Sting get his hand raised at the end?
Because John Moxley and Eddie Kingston were marking out like 10-year-old kids.
No. He's part of the team.
The Everrise spot where they were on the outside and he was like, "You're Sting, you're real," or whatever, and then Darby torpedoed into him. Like that was a good spot. That was a good spot.
Yeah.
But no, you could tell Moxley and Kingston were legitimately just being fanboys there and marking out because they were in the ring with Sting.
You walk past the man every day. He's in the company. You can't mark out when you're in the company.
I have nothing for that, man.
It's like me marking out for you right now.
You always mark out for me. I am what you aspire to be. Wait, but listen, there's a reason why my name says wait for it, because I have something that's coming later on that you're really going to mark out for. All right, lastly, real quick on AEW, and then we can quick hit the rest of this before we move on to Drink of the Week. What'd you guys think of the continuation of the Hangman story?
I'm interested in seeing where it goes. I hated that that looks like they're putting Christian as the number one contender, though.
So Hangman was rumored to not be the one to face Omega at All Out, is what's gone on.
Yeah.
My thing is, if that's the case, then why continue to tell the story that they're telling? Because to me, you're setting up the comeback to get the title shot. You lost the 10-man, which you weren't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
You broke up with the Dark Order to go off on your own, and I like the callback with that, where Dark Order was like, "Okay, we'll respect you and let you do it yourself." Where the Elite, when Hangman went to them and said that, they were like, "Oh, well, screw you. We don't like you no more. We don't want to be friends with you. You know, go kick rocks." So I like that, again, call back to something that happened a while ago. And then you saw it played out more when they wanted to run down to the ring, and Stu and Uno held them back. No, let him do it on his own. Like, I like that. But if this is not leading to Hangman Page kicking out of a one-winged angel and winning the belt at All Out, then I don't get why we're continuing to tell this story.
Like, if they're doing, because like they didn't say Christian's getting the title shot at All Out.
No,
yet.
they just keep talking about his record.
Yeah, so it's like say next week at Rampage he gets his title shot. Okay, cool. You know, whatever. But yeah, it's like, I agree. If this isn't leading to Hangman getting his title shot All Out, I don't get it. Because you can't, I don't know if you can really continue this story all the way through Full Gear.
When is Full Gear?
November.
October, November. And then the other thing, can we please, internet wrestling community, everything that the Elite does is not an Easter egg, like it's a Marvel movie.
Oh gosh, I
Cookie
see
Monster CM Punk shirt.
that.
The amount of conspiracy theories and look, Cookie Monster, CM Punk, look at that.
Ric
Flair's coming in. Oh, it's like, you guys
The Hawaiian shirt was supposed to be something. I forget what that was supposed to be.
Gold that she wrote?
Do you not realize the, like, if you watch BTE like all the way through, right? The trolling that these guys do, like they can't wait. Oh, we hated the basketball gimmick. You guys shit on that all week. Guess what we're gonna do? With the basketball gimmick, we're gonna do trick shots. We're gonna make like, it's just like.
Did they say something with like Bray Wyatt was like?
That was
the
Hawaiian shirt was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, the Wyatt shirt. Yeah.
It's just like, come on now, everything like.
Because they haven't worn Hawaiian shirts before.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's in a Marvel movie.
Come on now. Quick hitters elsewhere around wrestling. Impact was really good this week. They ended their streaming partnership with Twitch. So they're no longer on Twitch. They are now on Fight Network. And I'm not sure if it's a paywall or not.
They've been on Fight Network because that's the parent company.
So is it so it's just strictly on Fight and
Access. Yeah.
But do you have to pay for it to see it on Fight?
You cannot watch Fight here in the States unless it's on your cable. They used to have.
I'm no longer watching Impact Wrestling. Awesome. Yeah. I'll just catch it up on Twitter.
So this is what I hate. So they're doing this new thing. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago that you can watch Impact on YouTube. They're doing something with that now. So you can pay. I think it's like $5 a month, and they're going to do like a stream on there, and then have like some of their other monthly specials. But at the same time, that's Impact Plus. Like, why don't you just drive it like, hey, we're going to live stream Impact every week on Impact Plus? Or like, why do you have to create a YouTube channel too? Like, it's two different things. I guess it's a money grab, but they're not going to get it.
I don't watch that often, so I don't care.
I mean, it was on TV, I'd watch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Honestly, this week, Impact was probably my favorite show of the wrestling week. And I don't even remember the last time I said that about Impact.
Was it on Twitch?
I ended up watching just a stream of it.
Okay.
So this week, the big thing was Chris Bay joined the Bullet Club. So they kind of a couple weeks build up for that. Jay White brought him in, officially asked him to join. He joined.
So who's all in the Bullet Club?
Most of them are in New Japan. So
yeah. Is GOD still in the Bullet Club?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought they were beefing at that point.
They were beefing at one time, but that was before I think Jay White took over.
Okay. All right.
So Jay White, I think, I don't know if he is the leader, but I think he's like one of the leaders.
But they still got GOD and Fale or whatever his name is.
Probably.
Him and the one with the girlfriend who dressed up as a bunny all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
This week, Deonna Purrazzo and Melina, they were announced for the Impact Championship at Empower. So I think that has potential for a match. And kind of like one of the big surprises, which we had kind of teased a few weeks ago, talking about Fire and Flava officially broke up.
Yeah, Kiera Hogan's done with Impact. She, like I said, she was backstage at AEW, whether or not she actually signs or whatever, but she was backstage. So there's that there. Did you cover NWA selling out for the 73rd anniversary?
No, I just did Impact.
Yeah, so NWA, the 73rd anniversary show is sold out. Empower is not sold out yet, but all indications are that it will sell out.
I think as they announce more matches, that'll get people to buy tickets.
And then New Japan, August 14th, next Saturday, Resurgence, they announced Tomohiro Ishii against Moose will be added onto that card as well.
That could be a good fit for Moose.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. One thing that I did wanted to bring up to you guys, and I know we're running long here, but real quick, Jordan Grace came out and said that she not upset, but she's wondering why more women have not gone through the forbidden door. Do you think that there's validity in that statement? Anybody that you would like to see crossover matchup wise? I know we're getting Hirsch versus Camille, and NWA and AEW has done more as far as matchup wise, but with Impact, like we haven't seen any women crossover at all from either show. Whether it's AEW showing up on Impact or Impact showing up on AEW. So
yeah. I mean, we'll see Impact showing up on NWA, but yeah, no, I would like to see more women crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from their side, both of them.
Yeah.
Because it was only set up for the Good Brothers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If we would see a Jordan
all right,
Britt Baker match, I'd be okay with that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Just one other quick thing. We'll cover MLW before we wrap up. MLW is rumored to be moving to a streaming partner. We were talking about last week that they were going off YouTube, so we'll see where they end up moving to. And The Crash this week threw out an image for an upcoming show that's partnered with MLW Azteca Underground. So it looks like that's going to end up being moving forward now as a second brand for MLW.
Yeah, so that's rumored to be the spinoff from Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
To where that you'll see that, I don't know if you'll get the same. I don't know if you'll get the same feel. It'll be exactly the same, but like it kind of spinning off into that. So,
but which was kind of crazy because I thought like with Dario coming out last week at Battle Riot saying he's the matchmaker of MLW, like I don't know if that'll just eventually lead to it, but they taped at ECW Arena. They're supposed to tape there again or in the fall, and then they canceled. I think it was their Chicago show in November, and they're going back to ECW Arena for that to tape that. So a lot of MLW coming out of the ECW Arena.
All right, Ian's ready to drink.
Let's do it.
Chug, 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 chug.
This week's Drink of the Week is brought to you by all the dads at the cookouts that take pictures of their ribs, wings, hamburgers, hot dogs wearing the New Balance 900s.
The white ones. Only
the white ones. So this week we have Southern Tier Brewing Company Nice Slice Seasoned Ale with natural watermelon flavor. It is... how much alcohol?
That smells like watermelon.
5% alcohol. So truth be told, I've had this previously. Interested to get your guys' take on it, and then I will give what my opinion of it is.
As soon as that popped open, it smelled like watermelon pop.
I froze this and it didn't explode, so I'm not sure how this is going to work for me.
Looks like a typical ale.
All right, let's go around the horn here. What do you guys think?
This is watermelon infused. It's decent. I can drink more of these. I don't taste much, but that's probably about as much as I can drink it. I give it a 2.5.
Have you guys ever had that hint water? Have you tried that yet?
Yeah.
It's like it basically tastes like tap water, and then you just get that like little kick of the flavor with it. And it's kind of what this reminds me of. It's like a typical ale lager, and just get that touch of the watermelon flavor in there.
It's not overpowering watermelon. It's not like you're popping, a piece of watermelon bubblicious where you get intense watermelon flavor for 3 seconds, and then the gum's shitty and you gotta spit it out. This, like you said, it's more of like a regular ale, but the watermelon is very light and on the back end of it.
Yeah.
So whenever I had this previously, I had one that was not like ice cold, you know what I mean? Like, and it really didn't taste at all. To me, it was kind of just like a watered down beer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I drank another one a couple of days later after it sat in there and it got real cold and everything else. And to me, the flavor tasted more you got more of the watermelon than that, and it tasted different the longer that it got colder in the fridge.
Mine's been in the fridge since we bought it, so what was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. I will drink this. Like, I got no issues with this at all as far as a beer to pick up and drink during the summertime. To me, like, flavor wise, like I said, you're not going to be blown away. Watermelon beers are kind of iffy to begin with. But you could tell that it's not artificially enhanced with watermelon.
No.
You know what I mean? It's there, but it's enough to give you watermelon without being like, all right, this is overpowering or whatever. So to me, it's just a nice beer to drink on a hot summer day.
What'd you give this, Jason? 2.5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I was at a cookout, and this was there, I'd drink it. Am I going out to buy another 6-pack just for myself? No. I think this might be the first time me and Jason agree. I think I'll give it a 2.5 too.
I give it a 2. It's the same like the Blue Moon for me. It's just light water.
You could have been part of the gang here.
No, I'll be different.
For me, it has just a little more flavor than the Blue Moon.
Definitely.
It do, but it's the same type of contraption.
Yeah, no,
Give me a
I
hint.
would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a basic ale beer, just with some flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go a little higher. I'll go 2.75 on this for me. Yeah, I would buy a 6-pack of this. I'm not buying a case of it. But like you said, if I'm at a cookout, like I got a family reunion to go to later on today, so if I'm there and this is in the cooler and I pick it up, I'm not going to be disappointed with grabbing it out the cooler. So,
especially on a hot day outside, I think it would be refreshing.
I'm not going off the bat, but if you hand me one,
yeah,
I'll drink it. I'm not reaching the cooler to get it, but if you hand me one.
All right, so that is the Southern Tier Brewing Company Nice Slice. If you're out and about, pick it up. Hit us up on social medias. Let us know what you think of it. And as always, with every end of the Drink of the Week segment, each and every single week, we ask that you pick up your cans, bottles, brown paper bags, red and blue solo cups, shot glasses, whatever else you're drinking out of this week, and to good ships and wood ships and ships that sail the seas. The best ships are friendships, and friends will always be. All right, this week in sports is brought to you by Jason Looks Like JaVale McGee.
Need me behind you?
No, nothing, nobody.
No. I do have that. That was your way for. I didn't even read the name. I didn't.
It's absolutely 100% accurate.
I heard it so many. I heard it so many times before. It's nothing new.
You ever see the picture I posted with the face swap?
Gonna agree.
Yeah. I never I didn't know. I caught him in the basketball game the other day, running down the court all lanky and everything else, and the headband on, and I'm like, is that Jason out there hooping right now? Like, oh yeah, it's definitely JaVale McGee for sure. The twinsies.
So I work with kids in summer camp, and like the kids were roasting each other, and I'm like trying to get them to stop. And one kid said something, so I started roasting him, and he was like, "Hey man, shut up, JaVale McGee." And I was just like, "No," I left the room. I'd never had a comeback. I've never had a comeback.
Everybody got their doppelganger out there somewhere, right? Like they say, everybody got a twin, and yours is definitely JaVale McGee.
Oh man,
1000%. So I'm sorry if I'm late to the party with that Donald, but it just hit me this past week, like. Because I didn't see him all NBA season. I don't even know what team he was on this past year. I have no idea. But I just saw his lanky self running up and down the court, dunking on people in the Olympics, and I'm like, is that Jason out there hooping right now? So with that being said, USA men's basketball team, JaVale McGee, Jason got himself a gold medal this morning. They beat France 87-82 to win the gold medal. So for everybody that was bitching, moaning, ranting, and raving about Team USA, they won the gold for the 4th consecutive Olympics in a row. So not the prettiest of games, but they got it done, got the W, brought the gold home.
That's all that matters.
The men's baseball team lost to Japan 2-0, so they won silver. Olympics winding down here. Tomorrow's the last day.
Closing ceremony tomorrow.
Yeah. So, what you guys think of the Olympics? I believe the USA is leading in total medal counts. I'm not sure if they're ahead in gold medals.
No, China was 38-36, I think.
Look that up.
Oh yeah,
something like that. Last time I saw. I didn't mind the Olympics. I really enjoy the Olympics, no matter the situation. But
we have overall 108 medals total. But you're right, Donald. China's 36.
It's there forever. Oh, that's hilarious. All right,
but I like it overall. But the men's track team, boy, they need some work.
Yo,
That fundamentals, everything.
Man, they need some work.
Carl Lewis came out and said they look like an AAU club. That was bad, man. That was rough.
It's like I don't know how, like, since the 80s they had baton problems, passing the baton. I still don't understand why you can't fix it.
I think we just show up and think we can race and dominate.
It is unbelievable. And that's what things said. Usain Bolt. They said they get in that situation and they panic too much.
Yeah. Sticking with track and field, Elaine Thompson-Herah, she won gold again in the 200 and the 100. Jamaican sprinter. So she's the first woman ever in history to do that in both events in back-to-back Olympics. So shout out to her. I think the Olympics, the biggest takeaway for me was the not having fans there really hurt the Olympics this year.
Yeah.
Because, it's everybody from all the different nations getting there. It's, supporting country, coming together, everything else. The games themselves have been fine. I've watched stuff pretty much every single day that it's been on. But yeah, I think the biggest takeaway was not having people there, how much it changed. Some of the events I think would have been better with people in the stands.
Will be interesting to see in 6 months when we're back in Beijing, if this is the same or if they let fans back in or what.
Yeah.
Is that what the winter or?
Yeah, winter starts in February.
Mm-hmm.
With that, otherwise in sports, NBA free agency, a lot of bags handed out, a lot of money being given out there.
I officially signed with the Lakers.
Yeah.
In my head.
Honestly, so LeBron came out and said, everybody, hey, all you haters, keep that up and just remember this once we get going. I think the average age of the Lakers is like 36 years old.
That's if they all play a full game together.
I don't know. You make the trade for Westbrook, you sign Melo. You make a couple other additions, Trevor Ariza and that.
Howard.
You bring Dwight Howard back.
They got the WWE mentality. Hey, we'll push the legends. Fuck the future.
They got the AEW mentality. We'll sign anybody.
I think with them,
this are all into sports now. Huh?
I think with them, the obviously the biggest thing is going to be can that age and that roster survive for an 82 game schedule plus playoffs. However, I think if somebody goes down, like they had LeBron and AD both go down this year, and that was it. That was the end of them. Like they had nobody else. Can they win a championship if LeBron goes down with Westbrook and AD and Melo and that? I don't think so, but I think they'll be better suited to make a run at it because you're a little bit deeper. To me, they still need some shooting, and then defense is going to be key. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I like the moves. I liked what Miami did. They re-signed Duncan Robinson. They signed PJ Tucker. They made the trade for Kyle Lowry. I like that move. Brooklyn gave the bag to KD. They still got their core intact. They picked up Patty Mills, so I like that signing. There, Trae Young got paid. Atlanta re-signed John Simmons. So they made some moves. Chicago, they got Levine and DeRozan. I'm sorry, Levine was already there. They got DeRozan and Lonzo. So that's their three. Kawhi's reportedly re-signing with the Clippers. So it'll be interesting to see this upcoming season how everything shakes out. But yeah, to me the crazy thing was just the amount of money that people were getting.
When are they starting back up?
So I believe they're back on their this year. They're going back to their regular 82 game schedule.
Starting in September.
Yeah, with preseason, and then October.
October will be the start of the season.
Yeah, normally like around Halloween, that second to last week in October is normally whenever you get like the first couple regular season games started. So, yeah, we'll see. Quick turnaround again. You know, and that was the biggest thing that they knocked last year, but we'll see how it plays out. Baseball, don't really got much on baseball right now. We're in the droves of the Major League Baseball season, the dog days of August. A lot of
Cubs let everybody go.
What's that?
The Cubs let everybody go.
Sellers, man. Hey, this year, I don't know if I said it last week or not, but there was 10 or 11 All-Stars from this year's All-Star game that got moved.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
so yeah, that's you know what I mean. Crazy.
All I keep saying is their highlights.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see there. And then Thursday night we had football this past week. Steelers got a win in the preseason Hall of Fame game against the Cowboys. Football's back. It'll be back every single week now through the Super Bowl in February. So happy times. Steelers play the Eagles on Thursday again this upcoming week, and that's Thursday is whenever everybody else starts playing preseason games as well. So Steelers and Eagles, and I forget who else is on Thursday, and then there's 3 games on Friday. So we're full in the swing of the NFL season here.
Mason Rudolph is not the future. That's all I'm going to say.
Chris Mack from 93.7 The Fan tweeted out, Mason, besides Claypool's drop, Mason Rudolph had a perfect night. And I was like, yo, I know it's the Hall of Fame game, but you don't need to be drunk at the tailgate.
Really?
I just don't get it. I don't get what they see with him. And you continue, it will never make sense to me. Just like it never made sense why they kept Landry Jones as long as they kept Landry Jones. To me, they're the same exact quarterback.
Same thing.
Dude, you got put out there when Ben got hurt and you lost your job to Duck Hodges.
The practice team quarterback.
A world-winning duck caller beat you out and took your spot.
And I seen they saying Washington requested a trade.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, he's not happy with how he's been used.
Playing time
and everything else.
Look who's running with you.
He was the most sure-handed wide receiver they had last year.
Mm-hmm.
He was.
Yeah. He needs to stay around because somebody's going to be gone. Somebody's going to hit the bench.
I think obviously the big thing with the Steelers this year is the offensive line and what they do. That's going to be it right there. That'll dictate their season. I think they could have let Juju walk for that $8 million they paid him and could have used that to beef up the O-line a little bit more. And you know, again, we saw dropsies on Tuesday nights or on Thursday nights, so those wideouts better get rid of that real soon because they can't lead the league in drops again.
No.
The other thing that I'm going to be curious about watching the rest of the preseason from the Steelers standpoint is how does Ben work and operate in this Matt Canada offense? There's a lot of motion. There's a lot of horizontal. There's a lot of, quarterback movement, throwing on the run, everything else. At 38 years old, is Ben going to be able to do that for a 16-game season? And how will he look doing it? Because that was the biggest thing. Like, to me, if Ben's coming back, to me, Matt Canada is not the offensive coordinator that you should have. Because that offense is dictated on completely different things than what Ben does. And what Ben has done, especially in the past, the most recent years.
I guess it's for the future, and they're just going to ride this one out and see what happened.
Thinking about the future.
Possibly.
Wow.
I don't know, because Art Rooney II came out this week and said that this may not be Ben's last year.
Here we go. We're just going to keep running the same scenario over and over again.
My thoughts coming in on the Steelers were this year, they should have just paid Ben the $23 million, take the cap hit, and let him ride off into the sunset. Thank you for your service, like they did with Troy. and you go with Rudolph or Haskins, and you get a high draft pick, and then you move on to the future.
I thought he was sticking around to pass Phillip, but Phillip might be coming back.
Don't get me started with that bullshit.
Isn't this his last contract year? So
Yes.
Yes,
so they're going to think about renegotiating him again.
We'll see.
yeah. This
We'll
ain't
see.
Tom Brady.
To me, they should have been done with him. And then not only could you have gotten younger, but hey, there's that guy in Green Bay who wears number 12 that I would rather give the money to for a 2, 3, or 4 year deal.
No.
I'm just saying. No, did you say no?
I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers.
What?
I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in black and gold.
You're fucking crazy. You tell me you keep that team right now. You don't want to see Aaron Rodgers?
Nah. He's good. I just want to see him on the team.
I take Rodgers over Ben all day long.
Nah.
Hey, if Denver can do it with Peyton and Tampa Bay can do it with Tom, why can't we do it with Aaron Rodgers? He's on the Steelers short list from all reports.
Build. I want to see the future.
You don't have a future quarterback, so why not stopgap it with 3 years with Aaron Rodgers?
Now,
Especially whenever you're coming into next year's cap with the first and second most money.
Now with that, I'll sign the legend.
I got Donald to buy in on one.
I would. No, I'm not. I like Aaron Rodgers.
Jay, you don't do that honestly. Like if you're looking at it, come next year, Ben plays this year. You can tell he's done, right?
Not
So
bringing
you're
Aaron Rodgers.
left with Rudolph and you're left with Haskins.
I'd draft somebody. I'm not bringing in Aaron Rodgers.
He got an arm and he's accurate as hell.
You don't bring in Rodgers for 3 on a 2 to 3 year deal and draft somebody.
And has 1 Super Bowl ring.
So
I don't care about that. There's a lot of people without Super Bowls.
right.
I'm looking for the organization to win.
You just want a guy to put up stats, huh?
Yeah, fuck the
Not
player.
winning up. You just want a guy to.
I don't care about the players.
Take it 8-8.
I don't care about the players. Bringing the organization Super Bowl.
He ain't bringing this organization Super Bowl. He brought Green Bay one.
I'm talking about bringing the organization to Super Bowl.
He
I don't care about if the player has a Super Bowl or not.
But he wouldn't bring the Steelers one.
Yo, you put Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers, they have more of a chance to win a Super Bowl than they do with Ben Roethlisberger. Right now, you put 12 on that team, they have a better chance to win a Super Bowl than they do with 7.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No?
I'm all in for that.
I mean, what is he proving?
That he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks to ever play the game?
Show it with the hardware, man.
So I mean, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. So you're just automatically rolling him out because he never won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, and he's left off the list half the time. He's not.
Jim Kelly went to 4 Super Bowls in a row. He's gone.
He has no hardware to show for it, but you want to take.
Who thinks that Jim Kelly's one of the greatest quarterbacks?
I do.
Nobody. Give me your top 3 quarterbacks, not Jim Kelly. All right. Top 5, not Jim Kelly. All right. Thank you. Aaron Rodgers ain't even in your top 5 quarterbacks ever. Thank you.
You're fucking crazy.
Aaron Rodgers is in your top 5 quarterbacks.
Absolutely, Aaron Rodgers is a top 5 quarterback.
You just made that list up.
No, come on now. Let's be realistic.
Made that list up.
Aaron Rodgers is not in your top. Who are your top 5 quarterbacks?
I don't know, but it's not Aaron Rodgers.
You say it now or all time?
All time.
All time.
Rodgers is top 5 all time.
Okay.
Nah.
Nobody agrees with you. They're sitting there thinking, yeah, nah, he's not top 5. I see it in their faces.
Yo, put that on the Twitter poll. Is Aaron Rodgers a top 5 quarterback all time? I guarantee you get more yeses than those.
I normally don't participate in online functions, but I'm gonna post that too.
All right. Well, I'm tired of having this discussion with you. Move on to One Gotta Go so I can whoop your ass in that.
Cut off.
Quick with the button, man.
When I'm not quick with the button, then y'all bitch. Like, oh, that was a perfect segue. All right. So last week we did do a Twitter poll off of last week's One Gotta Go, and the fans voted Higher Learning off.
Terrible.
I know what I'm talking
Go ahead.
about. I know what I'm talking about.
Underrated.
They just want to see gangster flicks.
Take your bell, Donald.
Huh?
Take your
Oh yeah,
bell.
yeah, it is. I know what I'm talking about because it's on a different platform.
All right, so this week we're going to go back to some food. We're going to do, these are the top 4 pizza chains. They're actually in order of how they sold last year. So we got
All
Domino's.
4 of these are fucking trash.
We got Domino's, Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, and Papa John's. Go ahead, Steve.
Hasn't been good since the Bigfoot back in like the 90s. Pizza Hut hasn't been good since they had actual sit-down restaurants with the lunch buffet. When I was part of Book It Club and Stuffed Crust Pizza came out for the first time. Domino's may be the worst out of all of these. And Papa John's, I have not liked Papa John's since I was drunk up at IUP my freshman year of college. This is fucking garbage.
But did he get the job done?
I'm voting for E, all of the above. Changing the game up. E, all of the above.
You can't make up rules.
If I have to pick one,
That is the name of the game.
Domino's.
You're wrong.
Domino's.
No. I'm going with Domino's also. Domino's is complete shit. I will run this company into the ground. I had so many problems with Domino's. It is unbelievable. I'm not even going to list the problems.
Look, we're not talking about experiences. We're talking about taste. I don't care if you get your pizza on time.
Domino's haven't been good since the mid-'80s.
I don't care they messed your
That's
food
it.
up. The taste.
They haven't been good since the mid-'80s. Once they changed their crust up to that garlicky whatever thing, yeah, they got thrown out the wheelhouse.
When you got the wrong order, did it taste great?
No, it didn't taste great. No, it didn't taste great. Domino's is complete trash.
When the Noid left originally, that's when you left with them too, huh?
Honestly, if I have to eat one of these, I'm probably going to eat Little Caesars. And that's only because of the crazy bread. It's not even because of the pizza.
I want the pizza.
I don't think the crazy bread holds up now like it used to.
No.
Domino's back in the day was the best to me. Before they changed the recipe.
I give you that. It was the best.
Before they changed the recipe. So going off history, they stay on the list.
So you like the cardboard and ketchup that they talked about?
You like
They're
that
still okay.
You like that enough?
Little Caesars is there for you. That $5, is it still $5?
Yeah.
And it's still there for you. It's,
five for a plain, 7 for topping. I think it is.
I mean, where can you go wrong? Even if it tastes like shit, the price.
And we were all eating it last week.
I'd rather eat a DiGiorno or a Red Baron.
So we were all eating it last week.
Yeah,
we were all eating it, crushing it last week. So
yeah. Papa John's, I hate the taste, but also again, it's there for me. But Pizza Hut just got to go. I hate Pizza Hut with a passion. Maybe Target ruined my experience eating it there, but it's just trash.
That's not even the same Pizza Hut flavor.
But still, I mean, I get it when I go there too. It's the same.
I mean, that's market pantry cheese you're eating.
It's the same weird taste. I hate it.
You're eating Target cheese there. You ain't eating the real stuff.
Then their breadsticks are too. Pizza Hut got to go. Always had to go.
I agree.
I wasn't a fan until they, when it came out, put it on the pan. That's the only time I was a fan.
Listen, we are spending way too much time on this trash ass list. There's no reason why we're debating this long. These are all 4 terrible, terrible choices. And Chris, I'm ashamed of you for being a chubby guy that you came up with this list.
Hey,
Mr. Kraft Pizza Man up there.
These are the top
artisanal pizzas
in the country. So apparently people like it out there.
Yeah.
Saying your style, that's one thing, but people apparently do. I mean, I agree with Jason. Pizza Hut got to go off this list.
Yeah.
It's just trash. It's always been trash. It'll continue to be trash.
What is this, 2 for 2?
Yeah, Little Caesars. I mean, it gets the job done for the price.
Definitely.
I enjoy it, and I like Papa John's. Out of any
They
of
eat
them,
at
Papa
Pepperoni.
John's is actually probably the one that I go to regularly. Too many local pizza shops these days are way too expensive for their pizza. So I'd rather take a $5 from a Little Caesars than pay $20 for a pizza from somewhere else.
I got nothing else to say on this one.
Next pay-per-view, where we going?
Little Caesars.
I'll stop and grab it from North Sales on my way to the Vale and pick it up. All right, final thoughts. What do we got this week? Let's wrap it up.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into episode 49 of the Dumb Marks podcast. I'm going to get this in right at the buzzer. If you're watching this live, the Pro Wrestling Tee sale for 20% off ends in 5 minutes. So head over to prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod and buy our merch for 20% off.
Go cop a shirt now, bitches. Support the show. Some of us, that may be the only stream of income we have coming up. So let's buy some shirts. Support the boys. Okay.
So, and as always, buy a shirt. We give you a shout out on the show. Make sure you like us on all our platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Dumb Marks Pod. Make sure you like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This way you get alerts when we go live every week.
Yeah, let's go. Let's build up that YouTube following.
Yeah.
Get the notification. Once we hit a certain number, we'll do something for you. We haven't figured out what that number is yet, but we got something in the works there.
Donald, final thoughts here. Donald, I tried to bring this up earlier. I don't know if you heard this one or not yet. They're doing a Hunger Games prequel. It's going to start filming in first half of 2022. It's going to be a President Snow centered prequel, and it's on track for late 2023 or late 2024 release.
That sounds like the recent book that came out.
Okay.
Another franchise I haven't watched.
Never watched one episode of Hunger Games, so
It was good.
Anybody got anything else? Final thoughts?
Messi out at Barcelona. That's kind of huge. PSG.
Yeah, well, when you sign a contract for a player, and then you go to every other team in the league and say, "Hey, you got to pitch in to play this contract," and everybody's like, "No," yeah, it's not going to work out. So, yeah, we'll see where Messi ends up. So he wanted out of Barcelona, came back, reworked the deal, got a new deal done. Economically, the league can't support it, so now he's out, and we'll see where he ends up.
The Lakers.
PSG was that Paris Saint. I don't know the rest of the term.
Yeah, Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
They have Neymar, so I don't know. Him and Messi will play again together because they were on Barcelona together. But yeah, we'll see. Interesting there. Keep your eyes out.
And we never touched on the Loxin thing. I didn't watch, but it was.
I watched.
I seen a few clips.
It was a emphatic ass whooping from the go. First off, I get the matchup, but to me, these were two separate. They didn't.
Yeah.
This wasn't the right call.
No.
Dipset was more commercial success. I would say, but the Locks, I mean, Jada to me is the top 5 rapper. Bars, presentation, everything, and he went out there ready. He went out there ready, like you said. This is war. Like, I'm out here to murk people, and yeah.
Did he?
A couple times I thought it was going to end up being a scrap on stage. I was hoping it wasn't going to turn into that, and luckily it didn't. That was an ass whooping.
That made my timeline for the night. I just followed his bread, memes and posts.
Yeah, it was ugly. It was real ugly. Dipset just looked like they were there. They got a check, and that was it. Like,
to me, they were the more flashy group, and then Lox was more gritty.
Yeah, New York, you tend to go with bars. Respect the lyrics more, but even just, I don't know, just the presentation, and then the songs they selected when they selected, like everybody's waiting for Ballin'. You thought Ballin' was going to be an automatic point for Dipset, and they didn't even get that point with Ballin'. Like, how you have your biggest hit not even get you a point? Like, so I don't know. Like, I think it would have been better if you would have had G Unit against Dipset. Would have been better, but we'll see. So yeah, it was definitely a night to celebrate New York. Like I said, Lox to me is one of my favorite groups all time. Jada is one of my favorite rappers all time. I had them going in. I wasn't the biggest Dipset guy back when they had their run, but I didn't think it was a fair matchup going in, and that just played out throughout the course of the night. Speaking of rap battles, the one thing we didn't touch on wrestling this week, the Max Caster rap that aired on Dark or Elevation? I forget which show.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one, but
yeah, not a lot of backlash on social media based off of that rap. To me, there's a way to get heat with that gimmick, which he's very good at, and he's towed the line a couple times with stuff, but that definitely crossed the line.
I think the Duke line did it for me.
Said.
I didn't care for Charlotte's comment about Simone Biles this week.
Wasn't necessary, and that really didn't tie into the promo. But so they pulled the episode down, they edited it, they took it back out, and they re-uploaded it. But I'm sure you can find it out there on the internet. Things tend to live forever out there. But Tony Khan was on Busted Open Radio and said that he will now edit and review all of his raps. He typically just looked over the ones that were going to air on Dynamite because obviously that's a live show. So, but he is now going to oversee and review those prior to anything being aired. So
it's like, I mean, you saw what happened whenever who was it? Abraham Washington had his comment how many years ago about Kobe. It's like, that stuff shouldn't be touched on
too far.
Yeah, it was not good. UFC 265 is tonight. Lewis versus Gain. My man Derek Lewis. My balls is hot will forever be the greatest post-fight comment of all time. I think after this, if he wins this fight tonight, he got to get a title shot. Like you got to have him fight, especially if you don't know what you're doing with Ngannou and Jones at heavyweight, and if that's going to ever play out or what the case may be, but he got to get a title shot if he wins tonight. So that's on ESPN Plus. So tune in for that. Other than that, I don't think I had anything else. That's it for me from Final Thoughts. Anybody got anything else?
I'm okay.
That's good.
Send it home.
All right. So to wrap up the show this week, a wise man said, "Don't be afraid to start over again. This time, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. It's never too late to reinvent yourself, so get out there and make changes. Be who you want to be. Go after your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. And until next time, thanks for tuning in. You're a Mark. I'm a Mark. Tell a Mark. And we'll catch y'all around the way."